Over the course of his long career, Marty Stuart has made an indelible mark on the music business and on the lives of his fans and viewers. His wife, Connie Smith, got bad news, and he's taking care of it behind the scenes. Marty isn't doing much lately to be with her. See how this news affects Marty's life, his relationship with Connie, and their relationship. As of September 30th, 1958, Marty was born in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The American South, which is full of people of different races, is where he first heard music. He grew up in a simple home in rural America and has always loved bluegrass and country music. Sr. John Stewart's son was a great musician, and Hank Williams and Lester Flatt gave him ideas. As a child, he liked music and spent a lot of time playing the first, very expensive guitar that his dad gave him. Especially when Marty was a teenager, his skills really stood out. He improved his singing and mandolin skills by playing at honky-tonks and neighborhood events. Lester Flatt was struck by Marty and saw in him a soulmate who loved old country music as much as he did. Marty's life changed when he joined Flatt's band, the Nashville Grass, when he was 13. He learned to play the guitar from a famous figure in the field, which helped him become a better musician and appreciate the history of country music. Marty Stuart may have become famous quickly, but what made him unique was that he never gave up on his dream of becoming an artist. Even before the 1980s, he had already written and performed many songs. He stood out because of the way he mixed country music with rockabilly and honky-tonk. This was during a time when catchy pop tunes were being added to country songs. Marty had both happy and sad times in his personal life. He would never have thought he could make a choice that would change his life if love had been what drove him. This is the scene in the movie that shows how kind Marty is. He gave up singing because being with his sick wife was more important to him than anything else. This moving film shows how important her diagnosis is. It was his choice, which sent a terrible message to his followers, and he eventually beat the terrible sickness. Watch how this turns into a tragedy for the characters, and how true friends show they care when you're sad. He became close with and looked up to Marty, a wandering man who knew a lot of artists. Marty's place in country music events changed because of this, and he went on to have a successful solo singing career, helped by Cash's charisma and ability to tell stories. Although Marty stayed true to his country music roots, he became more famous from critics-liked albums like Tempted and Hillbilly Rock, which made him even more of a leader in the genre. In addition to music, Marty knows a lot about photos and history. When people listen to country music through this lens, they will understand its long past and fall in love with its catchy melodies and deep lyrics. Marty's childhood naturally predicted that he would be creative, passionate, and deeply devoted to the roots of country music for over 50 years. From a small town in Mississippi to the biggest stages in Nashville and around the world, his amazing journey shows how music has the power to change lives. Marty Stuart made Lester Flatt one of the most popular and well-known country music pairs of all time. Together, they had an impact on the growth of country music, and that impact has been felt by artists and fans for many years to come. Marty Stuart and Lester Flatt became partners in the early 1970s. Bluegrass great Lester Flatt was shocked when Stuart all of a sudden became a great guitarist and mandolin player. Stuart became a member of Flatt's band, the Nashville Grass, when he was only 13. He quickly started playing with and working with Flatt. Martini is very grateful to Flatt for all the help and advice he gave him as the style grew and for teaching him about the history of bluegrass and country music. Prior to becoming popular with Joe, Stuart was a part of Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Boys. He could tell that Stuart was getting better as a singer and player. This younger, more energized form of talent and energy brought new life to the Nashville Grass as the band's lead singer. When Stuart and Flatt were young and just starting out in their lives, a lot of things happened that changed and shaped them. Stuart played in many bands over many years on the Nashville Grass, which taught him a lot about how to be on stage. The members of Little Big Town were able to widen their musical tastes by learning traditional bluegrass from Flatt and adding Nashville's new country sound. In terms of music, Marty Stuart and Lester Flatt were very close. They both liked old-time country music and thought the other was great. Fans were treated to a number of CDs that showed off Flatt's sad singing and Stuart's skilled playing. I'll Stay Around and Take Me Back to Tulsa are great examples of how they use silvery lines, banjo beats, fiddles, and of course Stuart, the little guitarist, to make catchy songs with bluegrass picking. Many artists looked up to Marty Stuart and Lester Flatt's second successful partnership for a long time. Together, They bring bluegrass and current country music closer together. This lets other artists play around with the genre and push its limits. One thing that makes Stewart's solo work stand out is his commitment to musical storytelling, which he says comes from his time at Flat. They were closer than just in the music hall and recording studio. Marty thinks of Flat as a guide who taught him things outside of music, and he often thinks about the valuable lessons he taught him. Stewart thanks a lot to Flat, who showed how to work hard, be humble, and protect the integrity of country music. In fact, Marty chose to go solo after Flat died in 1979, and his work as a solo artist cemented his position as the most original and creative figure in country music. After that, Flat study shows that Stewart always paid homage to the genre's roots while trying new things with his art. His solo albums, like Hillbilly Rock and Tempted, were liked by both reviewers and listeners because they mixed old traditions with new sounds. The relationship between Marty Stuart and Lester Flatt is another example of how a good teacher and student can shape a field. In the same way that Stewart's pop singing career showed how good he was from a young age, their songs cover the whole history of country music. In honor of Lester Flatt, Marty Stuart's songs and work to keep country music's rich past alive honor his memory. Is Marty Stuart and Lester's decision to work together good or bad for country music? Create a review and tell us what you think. Stewart's skills were noticed, and he was asked to join Johnny Cash's backup band. In 1982, he released his second album, Busy Bee Cafe. Bluegrass greats like Doc Watson, Johnny Cash, and Earl Scruggs helped make this album a gem. It was liked by many that the recording was good. During this time, Stewart was married to the daughter of Cindy Cash, and the two skilled musicians worked together. He was able to persuade his father-in-law to let him start his own business in 1985, though. The album Marty Stuart, which came out in 1986, got him into the rockabilly scene. It was followed by Arlene, his first #1 hit. His flashy Western clothes and teased hair were also important parts of his stage image, which he worked hard to develop. Changing things in his personal life, he divorced Cindy in 1988. Hillbilly Rock, Stewart's top 10 country hit from 1989, was the album's title track. Stewart and Travis Tritt got the Grammy for Best Country Vocal Collaboration for their work on The Whiskey Ain't Workin' in 1992. This was Stewart's first Grammy win. The next year, Red Wing Stewart won another Grammy for Best Country Instrumental Performance. He had worked on the song with country music stars like Chet Atkins and Vince Gill. Stewart continued to have success as a country music singer, even though the movie wasn't a big hit. He was the host of the first Marty Party TV special that same year. Connie Smith was born on August 14, 1941, in Elkhart, Indiana. She's also one of the most important people in country music from the 1960s. It was Connie who was one of the 14 kids. She came from a very poor family and finally moved back to West Virginia with her family. Then they went to Dungan in Ohio when Shannon was still a baby. As a child, she listened to Ernest Tubb and Eddie Arnold, two country music artists that her parents chose for her. In 1959, she finished from elementary school as the valedictorian of her class. For real, there was only 1/10 of a point between her and the winner. She also began performing in neighborhood shows, which made her feel better about herself. After she won a talent show at Frontier Ranch Country Music Park, singer-songwriter Bill Anderson invited her to come to Nashville. After getting so much good feedback from her performance at Ernest Tubb's Midnight Jamboree, she chose to make it her permanent home. If you sign with RCA, this song was made at your first session with them. It was the very first song by a female country act to ever make it to #1, and it stayed there for an amazing 8 weeks. That song, along with her biggest church hit, How Great Thou Art, is still one of the ones people ask her to sing. After that, Smith kept getting better and better. She released 31 records, 3 of which were #1 hits, and was nominated for 11 Grammy Awards. 30 of her country songs made it to the top 10. She is number 100 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest country artists. Marty Stuart met Connie Smith for the first time when he was a rising star in Nashville's music scene in the early 1970s. Smith saw promise in Stuart because she was already well known from classics like Once a Day. Because they both loved and cared about the history of old country music, their work respect quickly turned into a friendship. Marty and Connie have loved working together in the entertainment business for a long time, and their shared excitement brings them together on stage. Some weird songs like I Run to You and Farmer's Blues showed how well their singing styles and backgrounds went together. As their feelings for each other grew stronger over time, Their close friendship turned into a loving relationship. In many of his songs, Marty paid respect to Connie by talking about her and the things they had been through together, but he was famous for performances that made people cry in songs with beautiful words. Stewart said in an interview that Connie Smith was his mother's favorite singer. There was a tape of her called Miss Smith Goes to Nashville at our house. The cover had a beautiful picture of her. She looked like the most beautiful young woman in the world to me. For that night's Mississippi show, I wanted Connie to see me, so I had my mom take me shopping for a bright yellow blouse. After the show, she took a picture with my sister and me, and I was able to get her autograph. I asked my mom to marry me on the way home. It only took 25 years to find the answer, but it worked. Even though Marty Stuart and Connie Smith got married in 1997, they have never been afraid to show how much they love each other. Everyone in the country music world was thrilled for them because they were both so dedicated to their music, and it was clear that they were in love. Marty and Connie were able to balance their work and personal lives well, even though their jobs were very demanding and were set up in an executive way. Leanne and Eddie were able to get closer and support each other's shows because they both loved old country music and other traditions, artifacts, and things that were similar. While Marty Stuart is one of the most important names in current traditional country music, parts of the company's mission are to promote this genre, do good deeds, and keep these traditions alive. Marty Stuart and Connie Smith's marriage shows how love and business can work together in country music. Since they went from being co-workers to life partners, both of their jobs have grown, and the music genre they both love has changed forever. Even though Marty and Connie's relationship has been praised for how well it works and how much they love country music, it has still had to deal with the normal attention that famous people get. Along the way, they've faced problems that have put their hard work, patience, and ability to balance work and personal life to the test. As country music singers, Marty Stuart and Connie Smith are used to being looked at closely and criticized by fans. Since they are both popular and work in high-profile fields, they are always in the public eye. The fact that they are different ages only adds to the mystery of their relationship and the fact that they are both famous people, as they try to keep fans interested while balancing work and personal life. Even the closest couple ties may feel the stress of this constant demand. As musicians and entertainers, Marty and Connie have both kept busy schedules. Martine is a fan of country music and plays in bands. Because they are away from home so much, musicians who perform, record, and sell their music often have relationship problems. Keeping a good work-life balance and making time for each other has been hard, and we've had to be patient and understanding. They have also had to deal with family issues and outside factors like bonds, professional relationships, and personal duties, which have all affected their relationship. In order to handle expectations, solve problems, and find common ground when outside forces come into play, they need to be patient, understanding, and committed to their relationship. Because he loves his wife very much, Marty quits his job to be with her when she hears the terrible news that she is sick. Marty gets off the stage to be with Connie as she goes through this hard time. See how Marty's unshakable love and devotion helped them get through a dangerous situation. The bad news about Connie Smith's health is about to come out, so get ready for an even bigger shock. Marty Stuart and Connie Smith have jobs together. Will their love and strength be enough to get them through this terrible problem? We will inquire. Unfortunately, Connie Smith, a famous country music singer, learns that she is very sick. Let us take a moment to admire what this woman has done before we talk about her fight. During her long and successful career, Connie has been nominated for several Grammy Awards and released more than 50 records. She is twice in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Music fans still love her, and her songs have made a lot of people feel better and happier. Connie hasn't been lucky, disappointingly. Her family likes to keep their private lives secret. Likely, not much is known about her condition. Still, it has been said that she is having major problems, which may be related to a stroke. However, Connie is very busy even though she is sick. She has treasured time spent with family and friends and has always been determined to succeed. She is at ease with her husband and kids, even though she has been through a lot. Marty Stuart is a country music artist. A lot of people who like Connie's music have started talking about the times when it meant the most to them. While these comments inform others of how powerful she is, they may also give her strength in those situations. We need to fully recognize the strength and love that Marty Stuart has shown his wife Connie Smith during her recent medical condition. This story is about love, sticking with something, and how music can bring people together forever. Along with producing Grammy winners, hit songs, and cover versions, Marty Stuart had a successful 20-year career in country music. He could be seen as an icon in his own right. When it comes to Marty Robbins' personal life, his wife Connie Smith, a country singer who has been making beautiful, cheerful music since the 1960s, is very important. With so many fans and family members, the new medical news of Connie Smith shocked everyone. It still can't figure out what illnesses she is having. No matter what, she still has a lot of work to do. One last thing, Marty Stuart loves Connie very much. He shows her how much he cares by being with her during some of the most dangerous parts of the movie. In interviews, Marty has talked about how hard it was for him emotionally to hear Connie's news. As he thought about the future of the woman he loved, he talked about the first times he felt completely powerless. Instead of giving up and giving into depression, Marty wants to be Connie's rock. They have always used music as a way to talk to each other. Even with everything, it has helped me feel better. Marty makes Connie happy and calms down their home by playing guitar songs she loves while sitting next to her. He shows how much he cares about her by doing something simple to show his love. Also, Marty is now working for Connie's life and making sure she gets the best therapy possible. He has taken on the role of caretaker carefully and firmly, keeping track of her doctor's appointments, reading up on her illness, and giving her words of support. Some fans have taken to social media to show their support for Connie and Marty. The most shared things on social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are often photos, videos, and emotional comments about how this music has changed people's lives. Please do not believe these texts completely. No one disagrees that they are a great addition to the marriage. Audiences at recent concerts have shown how much they love their favorite acts. Many people kept quiet while holding signs that said things like, "We love you, Connie." Fans have never stopped singing and dancing to the songs, and their success has never wavered. This is what artists love about their audiences. They feel like a second family. Besides these business friends, other people have stepped in to help me out now. Other musicians and workers in the music business have called and visited Artie and Connie. Some people have even put on shows to bring attention to Connie's health problems and help pay for her medical bills. Having the support system in place has made the couple much more determined to face the difficulties that lie ahead. The lesson of the lyrics is that love can mend broken hearts, even when it hurts. A story of strength, friendship, and the unbreakable will to live. The huge amount of love and support Connie Smith and Marty Stuart have received shows how close their friendships and fan bases are. What song or memory of Connie Smith and Marty Stuart has meant the most to you?